And we are live. Welcome to Primetime with Hoyt and Wise Cheese. I am your host, Matt Skura. I got Ben coming in a couple minutes here, but before we get into any of what went down here for Sunday Night Football, and it has been quite an interesting first half. We've seen big plays from the Bears, big plays by the Packers. The second half just about to get underway as the Chicago Bears lead the Green Bay Packers 27-21. But before I get into any of that, our ticker down below is all of Unwrapped Sports sponsors. If you're a gambler, check out mybookie.ag. Use promo code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $100. If your back is hurting, hit up rxmp.com. Use promo code rxmp-USN for 10% off of your order. Also, if you want to have our t-shirts, shop at teesprings.com/stores/unwrapped to be able to purchase those. If you want to join our Patreon, hit up patreon.com/unwrappedsports. We have 3 different tiers that you can have. You could donate with the $1 tier to help us out. You could also donate $5. You get access to our very own Discord chat where we throw in gambling picks. We throw in a whole lot of stuff, and you can communicate with us. Or you could even throw in the granddaddy of them all, the $10 tier. You still get access with us. You still get a whole bunch of stuff, and you are in the runnings for a giveaway every month. We've given away an autographed Ricky Williams helmet. We've given away a Jerry Jeudy jersey, David Montgomery, a Kenny Galladay jersey, you name it. We have done it all. Those are all of our sponsors. The bills have been paid, as a great Anthony Conover would say. As we just now get the second half underway, it is a gain of about 5 or so yards here. It is about second down and about 5 yards here. 5-yard run by Ajayi Dillon up the middle. And we also have a very new sponsor here. We also go live on the Colorcast app. If you have not already, download the Colorcast app. Type in, whenever you search up users, USN, you will be able to find all the great stuff that we do, that all of our members do. Go give us a follow, listen to what we do, and yeah, just enjoy what we have here. And so far, the second half, another big pass play here to Davante Adams. And this has to be a great half here for the Packers to try and get back in this game. Nice 12-yard pass here, 1st and 10 for the Green Bay Packers. And I mean, you just look at this offense. This offense has been moving wonders here for the Green Bay Packers as a whole. And let's hope they can keep it up here in this second half. And sorry for the long pause. It is another great pass to Davante Adams. He moves it inside Chicago territory down near the Bears 30-yard line. We love what we see here for the Green Bay Packers. You love how you're getting started here in the second half. This is exactly what you want to have happen. We got Jimmy in the comment section saying, "Go Pack, go." 100% agree with you as well. Got my white Aaron Rodgers jersey repping. You already know the vibes. You know what's going on down here. And then also in the color cast, you are also more than welcome to tune into that as well. And if you do, you may even have a chance to get on the hot seat, throw in your input, and do whatever you'd like. Like it as we have another big play here by the Packers, runs it for about a gain of about 8 yards by Ajayi Dillon. And that's just the workhorse back that he is. We haven't seen a workhorse kind of back like Ajayi Dillon, honestly, since the Eddie Lacy days. So let's hope Ajayi Dillon keeps it going, and let's see how the rest of this Sunday night football game continues. Is it 2nd down and 2 here? I probably would not be shocked here if I see a Green Bay Packers pass play here on this play. Let's see what happens here. Play clock down to 2 for Rodgers. Just gets underway. A quick pass, a quick throw. A quick throw to Marquez Valdez-Scantling first down for the Green Bay Packers. They just continue to move it, continue to move the flow. Nice 8-yard pass down the field. Nice, perfect catch and run play there. And that's just something you like to see. You know, you like how the Packers are rolling here in the second half. I keep on saying this and I'll say it again. This is exactly what you want. When you're getting out of the half, when you're down in the half, you want to try to get things going, get the flow moving, and this is exactly how you do it. Play clock down to 5. Rodgers, a nice handoff to Dillon, who breaks through. He gets the first down. He is inside the 5-yard line for the Green Bay Packers. And I have my great co-caster, my great co-host, Mr. Ben Hoyt, joining in the color cast here in a hot second. I'll also let Ben know I did send him a link for the StreamYard as well. We have on the color cast, I sure can, Ben. I also sent you the StreamYard link if you'd like to tune in as well for those viewers on YouTube, your Twitter, my Twitter, or even Facebook as well. All right, as we move the play clock down to 5, 1 second here, another run by Dillon, gains about 2 yards. You were saying at first, Ben?
It would mean a lot for us in our brand if you join the Colorcast Network and engage with us. I mean, we're going to be engaging with you all night.
Definitely 100%. Play clock down to 5. They do yet another handoff, this time to Jones, and it's a touchdown for the Green Bay Packers. The Packers tie the game here as they make it 27-27. Now awaiting the PAT. I'll throw out this question to you, Ben. What are your thoughts have been so far on this first half as a whole? I mean, you look at the first half, the Bears had the lead 27-21 before this touchdown score. What has been your overall thoughts by both teams here so far this first half?
I mean, first of all, for the Packers, you're doing your job. I mean, I know you're not winning, but you're putting up 28 now against Chicago Bears. Well, you should be putting up. But I got to give credit to the Bears. I mean, Justin Fields has been throwing absolute dots tonight, especially one for a significant amount of yardage. I mean, the receiver did a lot of that work, but to get that pass out, I mean, credit to Fields. So they've been doing really well, both teams. I love this rivalry between Chicago and Green Bay, and it feels like it's the, old-fashioned rivalry we're used to having.
It definitely sure is. We got a comment here in the color cast, Mr. Michael Lawson. Michael said he's doing great. I think we're all doing great as well. It's great that I get back to the Christmas work party. I also want to throw this out for Michael if he's still in the comment section of the color cast. How about those Cowboys? You got a close win against the Washington football team. How are we feeling knowing that we're still in first in the NFC East?
While we're waiting for Michael to respond, this was one of the 1 weeks I've ever rooted for the Cowboys. I rooted for the Cowboys this week.
And for the viewers on a StreamYard and just YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, Ben, you're a diehard Eagles fan. Explain to the viewers why you were rooting so hard for the Dallas Cowboys this week.
So, there were a couple games on my kill list. Teams I needed to lose. First off was the Minnesota Vikings. Did not happen. The Washington football team. That did happen against the Dallas Cowboys. Also, there's so many teams that are on our kill list. That's the problem. And actually, a lot of them played each other. I think the Falcons played someone that was on my kill list. And the other one that was very significant was the San Francisco 49ers against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals disappointed me there. I thought they had it. Because right now, the San Francisco 49ers would have the head-to-head record against the Philadelphia Eagles in a tiebreaker. And, of course, Eagles having the bye week, they need to beat Washington next week.
Definitely 100%. We got Michael in the comments says, Micah Parsons, defensive rookie of the year. We look good. And I should have let them come back, but we got a banged-up offense. And I think he hit it square on the nail. I mean, Michael Parsons, he seems to be the clear front runner rookie, defensive rookie of the year. And you know, you look at the Cowboys, and in a way, you know, it did seem a little close. I mean, you look at I kept on checking on that game. The Cowboys were up big in that game, and then they got a little scare at the end. But like the old saying is, a win is a win, regardless of how ugly it is. You're one game better than you were beforehand. You go from 9-4 to 10-4. You're still in the long shot runnings for the 1 seed, and you're still in the runnings for a chance at a 3rd seed or even a 2 seed. So for the Cowboys, great win, gets them one step closer. I really want to see, though, how the Cowboys play week 17 against Arizona. I think that's going to be a telling tale for how far Dallas can go in the playoffs, because they're going to get in. They're going to get in the playoffs. But I think depending on how good they play against Arizona, that's going to be a telling tale on whether this Cowboys team has the ability to make a deep run or if they're just going to be simply one and done.
Yeah, absolutely. Dallas is pretty much a lock. I don't think anyone, including ourselves, and by ourselves meaning Philadelphia Eagles, are even going to be remotely close to catching Dallas. But yeah, it's going to be a big tale of what Dallas can do. I know the Eagles play Dallas the week after that, but Dallas will probably be resting their starters, which could be big for the Eagles. Because remember, you need to only lose – I don't think you can lose any game. You may be able to lose one against Dallas, but that is it. Every game is pretty much a must win. And if Dallas is resting their starters, that could be a big influence on many teams in the playoffs, including the Eagles.
It definitely can be. I'm looking at the NFC standings right now, and the Eagles, they're right behind Washington at 6-7, who still hold the 7th seed, actually tied with Washington with the 6-7 record for the 7th seed. And Fields just got strip sacked. The ball is out, and the Green Bay Packers recover, but there is a flag on the play. We'll see what the flag is called. And if it's a flag on the Bears offense, then that has to be a huge play by the Green Bay Packers defense, who just seems to be week in and week out, just seems to step up on almost every corner. Oh no. Oh no. Come on. Working me. Oh no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. Here, I'll have to go back onto the color cast really quick, but I mean, like I was stating earlier, pardon me for a hot second, while I get this game all situated here. Yeah, this is what happens when I try out with a color cast. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I go on the NFL app just once, and it cancels me out. And then as we look at Rodgers, a big play to Aaron Jones, and he gets another touchdown for the Green Bay Packers. They extend their lead. They are now up 34-27. We will see if Mason Crosby makes the extra point. And I am setting it up right now. And sorry for the long pause here. And we are going to do boom. We're doing that. And I mean, you look at it was just a perfect dime throw by Rodgers. And that's just vintage Rodgers. That's just what he does. As they lead 35-27 while we're on commercial break here, I'm just going to send this over to Ben, who will be just back on in a quick second here. Just going to set up this is all on me. I hit the wrong button on Colorcast, and we'll get things going. Now, sorry, on Colorcast, we are back. Let me just resend the link here. I accidentally went on the NFL app, and once you go on the NFL app, because you have the live thing in the background, that's just how it goes. And let me get Ben back on here really quick. Let me just do my thing here on Colorcast. It's a new in progress for me. I'm just starting to learn the groove here on Colorcast. As we are on commercial break here, and while we're on another commercial break, while we're on another commercial break, I will get into other news and events that went down in the NFL world, because there was a lot that went down. You know, whether that is with the Broncos getting the big win over the Lions, whether that's the Niners coming back and getting a victory of their own, you know, just a bunch of other stuff. We now have Ben Hoyt back on the Colorcast, and I got to tell him why Colorcast did not work. All right, Ben, you want to hear why the Colorcast didn't work the first time?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Well, because your boy went on the NFL app, and you know how on the NFL app it shows the Bears-Packers game live?
Yes.
Well, I went on there, and because it was a live audio, it instantly canceled me out of Colorcast. That's why you could not hear me. This is what happens when you're trying to run a Colorcast, you know.
It's okay. This is take number 2.
Yes, this is take number 2 exactly. And you know, we're just starting to get things rolling here, and yeah, just going from there.
Yeah. By the way, can everyone on StreamYard hear me, Matt?
Yes, they sure can, Ben.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to stay on Colorcast for the rest of the third quarter. Try to get a crowd here on Colorcast, get some, discussions going, get some takes going. But I will be joining the StreamYard the fourth quarter to close it out. But I definitely want to see a lot of people in the Colorcast app. Our stream's right there, so please feel free to join whenever and just have a good time.
Yep, exactly. Join in and do anything you want. We got Perry in the comment section saying, "Here we go, boys." I'll ask Perry that same question. You are a big Cowboys fan. How do we feel about the big win over Washington?
I will say to our CEO extraordinaire that I also did root for the Cowboys for once in my life this week against Washington.
We definitely did. We also have in the comment section, we have Josh K. I pronounce his name wrong. It's Keatono. I'm just gonna sound that out for sure.
What you saying, Matt?
Let me see. Let's see. He's just chilling right now. I'm going to ask, and for the two people, Perry or Josh, if any of you guys would like to tune into the hot seat, you are more than welcome to. We could get you on, and then you could just simply say your thoughts. You know, whether it's your favorite team or even this game, which turns out to be better than I expected. I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw this game, I thought for sure this was going to be a Packers blowout. Rodgers owns the Bears, but the Bears are giving it everything they got, and like I mentioned earlier, this is a game to where this is a classic division rival.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a barn burner, to say the least. This is a crazy game. 35-27. We're not even past 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers have been performing great. I think the team is going to win this game is like a lot of the games I watch. Who's going to stop the other team first? I mean, who's going to have the better defense heading into crunch time? And I think that's going to be the team to win this game.
It definitely is. I mean, whoever has the least amount of mistakes, I think is going to win. And you look at the one mistake that's really been the key separating this game has been the Justin Fields pick 6.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great undercut by Douglas, and he knew exactly where the ball was going and when, and he took advantage of it. And there was no Bears offensive player in sight that could catch him. So very smart, intelligent play by Douglas, and that was a key to the game today.
It definitely has been, especially when you look at the Packers being up by 8. If that pick six doesn't happen, it's most likely a tied game. We got my dad in the comment section saying, "Go Pack, go!" Shout out to Pops. You know the vibes, and shout out to Pops as well. And then at the end of the third quarter, like Ben mentioned, he will be on StreamYard. So for those of you who are tuning in via our Unwrapped Sports YouTube channel, Ben's Twitter, my Facebook, you'll see him by the start of the fourth quarter. We look at a nice little punt return here by the Green Bay Packers, Amari Rodgers. And one thing I will say about this game, this Green Bay Packers special teams is putrid. I'm still mind boggled how you allowed that 97-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Not only that, there are a couple punt returns that went over 40. If you're a special teams defense in the NFL, you should be pretty ashamed. I mean, if we want to go back to the old Bears days, I mean, Devin Hester, I could respect if you give up a 101-yard touchdown to him. He's like no other human I've seen on the kickoff return game, punt return game, special teams, whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, this is the today Bears. This is the 4-8 Bears. Like, why are you giving up easy, simple touchdown, easy, simple stops, for the Bears to capitalize on? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I asked myself that same question when I saw that 97-yard return, and it didn't look promising. Like, it looked like Grant was stuck, and I was like, oh, here we go. We're about to stop him inside the 5. But then he breaks it once he goes to the other sideline, and that's kind of the key. You and I, Ben, kind of know this. If you're a football aficionado, on a punt return, the key is to get towards the sideline, get the edge, and if you could get the edge, just bulldoze sprint along the sideline, and that's what Grant did. And the key for special teams punt returns, if you could get a good block or two, you could easily be on your way, and that's what Grant got. And that almost seemed like the turning point in the game, because you got to think this was just after about the 2-minute warning at halftime. Just underway the 2-minute warning. The Bears were up 3. They then get that punt return. Now you're up 10. And the Bears have a lot of momentum. And then, of course, Rodgers does Rodgers-like things, moves the ball down the field, gets a nice big pass play to Adams, scores a touchdown, cuts it to 3. And then we know the Bears, they drive it down the field, get a field goal. And then the Packers then strike with the touchdown. And then the Bears punt it and then strike with another touchdown. But overall, I'm just impressed on how good this game is. Like, we always kind of say this, like, whenever it's the primetime games, the last couple of weeks, we've had some very good primetime games last couple of weeks, whether that's Steelers, Chargers, that back and forth, fourth quarter. I mean, whether it's this week right now, I mean, the Packers 35, Bears 27, Vin, and you look at how much time is left in this third quarter, you got about 6.5 minutes left, and then you got a whole nother fourth quarter underway. So it's really going to be one of those on who makes the next big mistake. The Bears made the big mistake in the first half with the pick 6. We'll see if the Packers do anything like that. Rodgers to Adams, 16 yards. And it really seems like this connection is really starting to get back here in this second half, because you look at it in the first half, Adams was completely locked up. He wasn't doing anything, targeted 3 times, only had 1 catch. But it seems to me, Ben, ever since the second half started, Rodgers and Adams have been clicking like the good old days. And for the Bears, this is not what you want. You look at Rodgers, he's just killing it with his passing stats. He's got almost 300 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns. And then Adams is clicking. This has been a disastrous second half so far by the Bears defense. Play clock down to 3 for the Packers. They just get it underway. They hand it off to Ajayi Dillon, and he loses a couple of yards. But back to my earlier point, for the Bears defense, they did everything they could in the first half. They shut down Davante Adams, but they still allowed 20 points. But the key is you still have the lead. So far in this second half, so far in this second half, the Packers have adjusted, but the Bears haven't. You look at besides that big kickoff, besides that big punt return for the touchdown near the end of the first half, they haven't really done anything so far in this third quarter. It's been dominated all by the Packers. And if you're looking at it, this is what separates the great teams, the good teams from the great teams. Good teams, they sustain for maybe a half, but the great teams, even when they're down, they still find a way to adapt and have a better half. And that's what the Green Bay Packers have been doing so far in the second half. Rodgers and Adams have been playing great, and we'll see what they keep on doing.
Well, so by the way, back to that Rodgers Adams play. I mean, that's simple stuff they're working there. That play was a run pass option that he did right there to Devontae Adams. And then they threw it to Lewis right there. That's just a simple pitch and catch. I mean, the Packers are clicking on simple plays that the Bears can't stop and adjust to. So if you can do that, you're going to win the game. But we saw a holding penalty by the Green Bay Packers. Ron Torbert, the head official, is going to get a lot more involved come the fourth quarter because in close shootout games like this, people tend to get aggressive and do stupid stuff. So then the refs have to get involved. So, again, for the Packers and the Bears, you need to execute on simple stuff like Rodgers is doing right now, but also not make stupid, silly mistakes.
100%. And I mean, you mentioned that Mercedes Lewis play. Myself, even Green Bay Packer fans, we call Mercedes Lewis Big Dog. That's what Rodgers calls him. He's the main veteran of the bunch. Besides Aaron Rodgers, who's been in the league for about 17 years, Mercedes Lewis is the next guy. Been around the block. I think this is year 16, year 17. He's been there a while. He's been with the Packers for a couple of years. One of our main leaders in the locker room. He doesn't put up the stats like he used to in Jacksonville, but you talk about a blocking tight end and a leader in the locker room. Mercedes Lewis is that guy. And I mean, you look at even the impact, like with the Robert Tonyan injury that he suffered against Arizona, you really get to see a lot more of Mercedes Lewis and Josiah DeGuara. And I'm impressed with how our tight ends have been working, especially when you lose a guy like Tonyan, who is on pace to becoming a near top 10 tight end, and to be able to replace him with Josiah DeGuara, who's been good when you need him the most, and then Mercedes Lewis, as we call him, Big Dog. When you make big plays like that, this is exactly what you need. And then as you look at the Packers, they have a perfect 12-yard pass and adding it more down the field as they get closer to the red zone.
Well, so that Alan Lazard end around there, I mean, that's a common play I've seen from the Packers, and that's another one of the stupid mistakes, roughing the unnecessary roughness on Lazard when he was clearly out of bounds, giving him first and goal. Again, stupid mistakes lose games, and the ones who have been making stupid mistakes so far are the Chicago Bears.
Definitely 100%. It's first and goal for the Packers down at the 8-yard line. Rodgers back to pass, rolling, and he does a flip toss play that does not work. The Bears defense had him smothered up. Is now second down and goal. And Ben, how important is it for the Bears to try to hold the Packers to a field goal?
The game. I mean, the game. If Packers score here, like a touchdown, there's only 4:19 left in the third, and you're playing catch me with the Packers. That's not a good scenario for you, especially when you're the 4-8 Chicago Bears, not the Chicago Bears playing the Eagles in the playoffs. Chicago Bears.
Definitely 100%. And yeah, now I want to go as far as to say it's the end of the game because you still have another quarter, but it could be it could be the start of the coffin. Like, I wouldn't say puts the nail in it, but you're starting to lay the groundwork. You're starting to lay the foundation.
The reason I say it's the game because, again, you're playing catch me with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you're playing catch me with Jalen Hurts or, Daniel Jones, all right, you can work with that. This is Aaron Rodgers, who has so much chemistry with his guys and who can score at will. And who has been scoring at will throughout this entire game.
Definitely 100%.
I don't like the odds of that.
Hey, I wouldn't like it either if I were a Bears fan. Play clock down to 3, third and goal for Rodgers and the Packers. Quick pass play, and he is shoved out of bounds. Marquez Valdez-Scantling down at the 2-yard line. And now you're in a situation to where if you're the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur, are you aggressive and go for it, or do you just settle for the 3 points?
Go for it. 100% go for it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You put the Bears on the 2, up a couple scores. I mean, I like that, and I see LaFleur and Rodgers do as well.
Yeah, 100%. I do the same thing as well. Maybe even see if they could jump. But 4th and goal, you're down the 2. This is basically a situation of run your 2-point conversion play. You got Adams going into motion. Rodgers going to snap it with 2. He does not snap it. He calls a timeout. So they chew the clock out. And I would not be shocked here if they try to run another play. We got 2:55 left here in this third quarter. And I'll throw it out to you, Ben. If they do decide to go for it on 4th and goal, what kind of play design, if you're Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, do you run?
Oh, man, now I have to take out my Madden playbook here with what I like to do with them. You know what? I am no offensive coordinator, but I do think a nice slant route with Devontae Adams burning one of the corners would be pretty nice.
Yeah, and another thing I like to point out is earlier in the game in the first quarter, the Packers were in a 4th and goal situation, and what did they run? They ran a quick slant to Allen Lazard for a touchdown. I would not be shocked here if they run a same slant play, but maybe on the opposite side, like you mentioned with Rodgers. But it looks like they are going to send out Crosby. I see Crosby running out onto the field. The Packers, they're not chancing it at all. They're only up 8. They're looking to extend their lead to 11. We'll see if Crosby can make it. It is about a 22-yard field goal. And we look at here, the snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. So the Packers not going to chance it. They take the 3 points, but they now have an 11-point lead as they lead 38-27. Ben, do you like the safe conservative call that Matt LaFleur and the Packers went to go up by 11?
Yeah, I do. You got to take points to push it past multiple scores because I did not do my math right, and I thought we were up by that Green Bay was up by more. 8's great. You get a touchdown and 2-point conversion, but you don't want to chance it. You want to be up, touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then a field goal. I mean, that's a solid lead to build on.
Definitely 100%. I mean, as much as I would have loved for LaFleur to be aggressive and go for it, I just think, like you mentioned, Ben, just take your points. You're still up in the game. Instead of being up by 8, you're now up by 11, and now you force the pressure on the Bears to try and score twice. You got to try and score a touchdown, and then you got to try to get a field goal just to tie it. And it's one of those to where it's great. Do you want to see the risk? Absolutely, you love to see them go for it, but sometimes a conservative way works. Sometimes just selling for the field goal, selling for points, it could be a lifesaver, especially when you look at this Packers defense and they've had their moments. They've had their moments of Rasul Douglas getting a pick 6. Your former Philadelphia Eagle, loved his addition on the Packers. But then you see the Packers, their defense gets burned on a 54-yard play. So you get one or the other. And I think you just got to take the points and just call it a day.
Yeah, that 54-yard play too. It was a pretty, how do I say it? It was actually a quick pass. It wasn't for that much. It was definitely for a first down, but then someone wasn't in the right place, and then they had a quick lane to get a touchdown. And who was it? Bird who had that touchdown?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all just one person who did a coverage. Other than that, the Packers have been playing great defense.
Yeah, they most definitely have. They're up by 11 here, and I mean we're getting near the fourth quarter, which the people who are watching on the Unwrapped Sports Network, YouTube, Twitch, my Twitter, all the Twitters, Facebook. When the fourth quarter comes around, you'll get to see Ben Hoyt's great face, and he'll still be talking about this game. We got Crosby on the kickoff. sending it back to, and the Bears are going to run it out. We'll see if this Packers special teams can shut them down. And the ball is out, but the Bears recover. So the Bears dodged a bullet there, because you imagine if you're the Bears, you run it just outside the edge of the end zone, the ball comes out, and the Packers recover it. That would have been the definition of game over. But Cole Kmet falls on it. You look at it, it was a perfect hit. Kmet's lucky he was right there, because if Kmet was not there and the Packers recover it, I mean, we're talking game-changing play.
Well, so yeah, I'm a little ahead of you on the TV, but I just wanted to point out that was a perfect crown helmet hit on the ball. There's no way he was keeping that on his body.
Yeah, it was perfect.
When you get that hard part of the helmet right near your shoulder and the ball, I mean, it's like a wedge. It just drives the ball out.
Mm-hmm. And then you look at what a throw by Justin Fields and what a catch. I mean, you talk about perfect position on the football. That is a perfect throw by Justin Fields and the Bears. I mean, it was not a completion. It was incomplete. But, I mean, you just look at the placement, the throw. I mean, we'll see if he got his 2 feet in. As we look at the replay, whether that's on NBC or here, and his foot is on the white line, so it is incomplete. But even though it's incomplete, you got to think it was a great throw.
Yeah, not to spoil too much for you, but Ronald Torbert's the head official Ronald Torbert's getting a lot more involved, especially on these offensive plays.
Yep, and I just now see it. There is a holding on the offense. It's by the Bears. And once again, Ben, like you mentioned earlier, you can't be making mistakes like the Bears are making. Like those holding calls, they're costly. I mean, we're talking that could be a drive killer. You know, instead of being, second down and 10, maybe even second and short, you're now sitting at a position to where it's now instead of 2nd and 6, it's now second down and 16. And you're still pinned back inside the Packers 10. You got the loud, raucous crowd at Lambeau Field. And we'll see what the Bears draw up with, but this is a position you do not want to be in. 2nd and long. We'll see what kind of play the Bears run, but it has to be a big chunk play here if you're the Bears.
I don't think that's going to do it there. I mean, the throw was completed to Kmet. He got it solid 5 yards, but Savage makes a perfect hit right when the ball came in. Not pass interference, not anything like that. Just a clean, good hit to only prevent him from getting more yards.
And now it's a 3rd and long situation. And for the Packers defense, it's simple: try and get the stop and give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers and the offense, which has been pretty much clicking since the second half. But we'll see what Matt Nagy and the Bears have dialed up. It is 3rd down along 11. We got Fields in the pocket, looking to throw jump throws. It's incomplete. The Packers defense brought the force. It is now 3 and out, 4th down and 11. Bears looking to punt, but for the Green Bay Packers, they look to have good field position. If the punt goes well and the return is well, they look to be set up with success coming up on this next drive.
Well, hopefully Nagy will enjoy his last 15 minutes playing against the Packers at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, hopefully for Bears fans. I mean, I'd love for the Bears to keep Nagy around. That would be something if he stays around for forever. But we got the punt going here near the end zone. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They just get it underway. The snap is good. The punt is away, and the punt is. It's fair caught at about the 46-yard line. Like I mentioned earlier, Packers are set up for success close to midfield. We'll see what the Green Bay Packers can do. And honestly, for the Bears, this is the game on the line right here. If you allow a touchdown to happen and you fall down to 18 points nearing the 4th quarter, it's going to be a tough hill to climb out of. So if you're the Bears, if you can find a way to hold them to a field goal, regardless, I think that'd be a win. But for the most part, you want to give them no points. But if you have to allow points, allowing a field goal would keep you in the game by a hair.
And the Bears are starting off right, too. A sack right on Rodgers. Man. I mean, Gibson just shot out like a cannon against the offensive lineman. No one was even covering him.
Yeah,
and
100%.
He almost got the fumble, too. So that was almost very bad for the Cheeseheads.
Yeah, it almost is. And this game right here kind of shows, in a way, how banged up this Packers O-line is. I mean, you look at no Josh Myers as center, no Elton Jenkins for the rest of the year, and no Bakhtiari right now on the left tackle who's nearing return. I mean, he's been practicing. Hopefully he comes back week 15 against the Ravens or week 16 against the Browns. But, we're starting to get a little healthier. Play clock down to 2. Rodgers just gets underway. Throws a nice catch to Allen Lazard. I like to call him Allen Lizard, because Lazard, a lizard. But, he's making a big play there. And that's a good way how to make up for it if you're the Green Bay Packers. In the chat right now, we have Perry USN and Michael Lawson, also a member of Unwrapped Sports Network. If you haven't downloaded the Colorcast, which is currently available on Apple, please download it and follow USN. If you just type in USN, you get to look at great stuff that we do, like what Ben and I are doing right now, and with a bunch of other members and their shows. Rodgers on a 3rd and 5, lobbing it and incomplete. And you look at, if you're the Bears defense, another great play. We got 2 seconds left in the third quarter, so I expect to see Ben in the StreamYard soon.
Yeah, I will be logging on in a minute, but before I do, I'm not hopping off, but I was just going to say, if you were there for the old Sportscaster days, it's literally the same way to find us. You type in USN, and it'll pop up all our usernames. It's everyone in the network, and follow them all. They all have great content. So good punt there, and that will end the quarter, and I will be joining the StreamYard. So I'll be on in a minute.
Yep, he will be on in the StreamYard in a minute. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by the StreamYard, I mean on the Unwrapped Sports Network YouTube channel, which you should like and subscribe to. Even the Unwrapped Sports Network Twitter, my own Twitter, Ben Hoyt's Twitter, and just overall all the stuff that we broadcast to. As we end the third quarter, the Green Bay Packers lead 38-27. To which has been an incredible game so far to this point. We've seen big plays. We've seen low light plays. This game has had it all. We've had a punt return for 97 yards. We've had a pick 6. We've had Rodgers to Adams touchdowns. We've had Justin Fields 54-yard touchdown plays. This game has it all. We'll see how it finishes here in this fourth quarter, but the way how it's going this game, it seems to be like it's going to be a fun finish as we get towards the fourth quarter.
Yep. And it's going to be nice being on the StreamYard for the first time in a couple weeks. I just found the link, and I will be putting it in right now. But yeah, no, great game between the Packers and the Bears so far. I mean, this should be Nagy's last game in Lambeau, I would assume. Right, Matt?
If the Bears were smart, yes. This should be his last game as a Chicago Bear at Lambeau Field. But if they're not smart, he'll be there another year.
Right. That's all up to the McCaskies.
Exactly, all to the McCaskies. If I'm the McCaskies, I mean, me being a Packers fan, I look at the McCaskies, keep on Nagy as long as you want. Go ahead. Give him a lifetime contract. Let him run through Justin Fields. We'll be fine. But for those suffering Bears fans, they want Nagy out. Maybe have Nagy as your offensive coordinator because he had some success as a Chiefs offensive coordinator, but just not a lot of success as a head coach.
No, not at all. And all right, I am logging in right now. So I will see you all on StreamYard right now. Colorcast, I will still be here.
Yep, definitely 100%. I'm looking at the StreamYard screen. We'll see what we can do to get the great Ben Hoyt on as the fourth quarter is just getting underway. I'm looking at the standings right now. The Cardinals currently in first. I just put in my AirPods real quick.
I may need headphones too. This actually isn't too bad. All right, we're good.
Yep, we definitely are 100%. And just looking at the standings right now, it shows Cardinals 1, Buccaneers 2, and Green Bay currently 3.
Unfortunately, the Eagles are not in that equation so far, but hopefully win against Washington next week, which I will be at, by the way, 1 o'clock game at the link.
Yeah, definitely 100%. We hope that you're at the link because that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I definitely will be next week at 1. But 2nd and 7, 14-24 left to go. Oh,
they're just showing a kickoff return, right?
No. Oh, no, I may be a little ahead of you. I apologize. Packers just almost ended the game.
Oh, yeah. I just thought, hey, guess who it was again, Ben?
Rasul Douglas.
That's right, Rasul Douglas. I just want to say shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for keeping him on the practice squad because I'm gonna be honest, without Rasul Douglas, I don't know where the Packers would be. Because you look at this Packers defense. Ever since Rasul Douglas was added for that Cardinals game, he's won us. He's won us about 2 games. He won the game for us against Arizona, and he had the game-sealing pick 6 against the Rams in Week 12.
Yeah, but my bro had to catch that. Yeah, that's in your hands. But it's now going to be 4th down and inches. What do you do? You have to go for it if you're the Bears.
Absolutely. You look at you're down 11. This defense, I mean, it hasn't been able to stand up a lot. This is the time to where you have to go for it. Maybe see if you can get the Packers to jump offside, but in the fourth quarter, down 11 with the full slate of 3, you have to go for it and then just see, if they can convert.
Let's see if the ball gets across there. It doesn't. Well, you do have a running. What? You're punting? You're punting.
I think here's what I will say, Ben. I think the only reason why the Bears are punting is because they're down at their own 37.
Oh my God. Matt, you're going to flip.
How so? Oh my God, are you kidding me?
And the Bears are back in the game with one silly mistake.
It literally boinked off his helmet.
But Ronald Torbert's talking, so
it has to be. It has to be a delayed game. It has to be. Because you look at it, it was at zeros, and there was literally 3 seconds. Let's see.
All right, they're calling something. Oh, no. Oh, it's an illegal procedure. Can't do that. It's a repeat 4th down. You just got saved, Matt, by Ronald Torbert.
Oh, I'll take that.
Oh, you know what it was? That guy's out of bounds. He can't touch that ball.
He definitely can. We got my dad in the comment section saying WTF. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a rerun of 4th down. And the reason why, like Ben mentioned, because he stepped out of bounds, it was the first to touch it. You can't happen. And I will say, for the rookie Amari Rodgers, you can't let that happen. You can't let that ball doink off your helmet and through your hands. That's unacceptable. And this is why our special teams coach needs to be fired ASAP. This is unacceptable.
Dude,
you allow a 97-yard punt return, and then you have this muff.
You don't have Jalen Reagor as your kickoff returner. Relax.
No, we got a rookie Amari Rodgers instead who just let a ball doink off his helmet.
Still, you do not have Jalen Reagor who does absolutely nothing. All right, so 4th down again. All right, this time he catches it. That's a first.
Yeah, you already know in the football unwrapped chat, I got to put in Ethan Carboni punching the air right now. Because, I mean, you look at it, talk about a change of events, Ben. We're talking if they don't call that, the Bears are back in this game, like you mentioned, with a chance to cut it to 4 or 3. And now it's a clean punt, and the Packers are up by 11 with the chance to go up by 14, 17, or 18. Then look at I even have Ethan Carboni in the football unwrapped chat saying he bet the Packers. That way it's a win-win.
Ethan with his
gambling. He already knows. He already knows.
What?
No, I'm just saying he already knows that the Packers are going to win.
Yeah,
he just already knows. And why not make money off it?
Right, I get that. That's such a bad break for the Bears. I mean,
100%. I mean, we're talking game changing.
The official didn't even throw a flag. Do you know what he actually threw?
Did he throw the blue marker?
No, he's hacked. He didn't have he couldn't get the flag off him, so he threw his hat in the air.
Hey, as an official, you got to do what you got to do. You can't get the flag quick.
By NFL rules, that's your secondary flag. You throw your hat. But the flag marker wasn't on the TV because they couldn't identify a flag. So, until I saw Ron Torbert talking with his crew, I thought nothing was wrong. Oh, what a break.
Yeah, I want to blame you. That's a definite bad break if you're the Bears. While we are on commercial break, Ben, I like to throw in the good old-fashioned Philadelphia Eagles look in. Obviously, the Eagles, they had their bye week, but they are 6-7. They're right there in the thick of the playoff hunt, which I don't know how. I don't know how you're 6-7 and still in the playoff hunt, but you're in the playoff hunt. How are we feeling, Ben?
Cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. Emphasis on cautiously. I mean, we beat a bad Jets team, which, by the way, we've never lost to the Jets in franchise history. Never lost. Not a game.
Mm-hmm.
We have a decently tough Washington football game. I can't even say the stupid team. Washington football team game.
Don't you play them twice in 3 weeks?
Yeah, and we need to win them both, or else we're done for. And then we need some games to go our way. That's what happens when you add a third wildcard team. You know, teams that are under 500 will actually have a shot. That 49ers game hurt bad, though, and I mean super bad. Because now, what are they, 7-6?
Mm-hmm.
They have a tiebreaker over the Eagles.
Yeah, they do, because they beat you earlier in the year.
Jimmy G came down and beat us at the link. So that was week number 2.
You were there for that, correct?
I was not there for that. It was the week after that, maybe. But no, I definitely that definitely hurt. I mean, week two is what's affecting us right now. 7-6 and a tiebreaker head to head. So we need the 49ers to lose. We need the Vikings to lose. We need the Saints to lose. Practically all of the NFC South to lose. And then we need our division opponents besides Dallas to lose. I'm rooting for Dallas against our division opponents. There's no way we're catching them, but I want that wild card spot.
I wouldn't blame you. I mean, I'm looking at the big Monday night game between the Rams and the Cardinals with full extension, because if the Rams pull off the upset, guess who's the 1 seed, Ben?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
the Green Bay Packers.
I was just on a show earlier tonight. It's a Philly sports podcast show. Follow it if you're interested. Liberty for 4 Philly podcast. We saw multiple ways, and I can't remember all of them, where the Eagles could be playing the Packers at Lambeau.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, remember, it's a plethora of games that need to go exactly the right way. But the Eagles could be potentially playing the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. The most probable scenario I saw that we came up with was if the Eagles made the playoffs, they would go down to Raymond James and play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Wouldn't that be something? if the Eagles go in there and pull off the biggest upset, knocking off Brady again, just like Super Bowl 52.
Oh, that would be so sweet. You know what? I don't want Brady though. I don't want that revenge. I want to go into Lambeau and make you cry.
Whoa. Okay. I would love to see that happen. I mean, I like to see if that would happen.
That's true. We haven't made the playoffs by a long shot yet, but
I'll say you recently made it in 2019.
We did, and actually,
but you basically had McCown's last leg at 40.
I was at that game, and
we all hated Jadeveon Clowney for ruining wins.
The funniest story, and 10:39 left to go, and the Packers are marching down the field, looking like they're going to win this game. I'll tell a quick story real quick. I'm at the game versus the Seahawks, and Wentz, we didn't even know Wentz was hurt at the time, but then we see the replay of Clowney, and everyone got so angry. But I didn't even know Wentz was out. Like, some kid behind me is like, look, Josh McCown is in. I'm like, no, why are you happy? Like, we're gonna lose this game.
And you lost 17-9.
Jadeveon Clowney came up to our tunnel and started egging the fans on, and stuff from the stands starts flying like nobody's business that he had to run back into the locker room.
Hey, that's why you don't mess with the fans of Philly. The fans of Philly could humble you. They could be the greatest to you, or they could throw things at you. No in between.
We've done it at Santa. We did it at Santa.
Yep. If they do it at Santa, they could do it to anybody.
Yes. Which I'll have to tell that story another time, but it's actually, there's a documentary about it too.
There definitely is. Play clock down to 1. They hand it off to Quadzilla himself, A.J. Dillon, or some people like to say the Quad Father. I love seeing A.J. Dillon run. I will say I was so skeptical when we first drafted him because it was in the second round and he was our third string back, and I was just like, what are we doing? Why would we draft a third string back in the second round? But seeing how he's played, man, it has been impressive. I think what honestly woke me up to A.J. Dillon was his Week 16 performance against Tennessee. That last year in the snow in December. That's what wowed me. I'm just like, wow, we got a steal in A.J. Dillon right here. He's going to be our second running back. And what happens? We let Jamal Williams walk in the offseason. A.J. Dillon is our second guy, and he's been phenomenal. I
mean, but let's not overlook the first-string running back tonight. I mean, over 30 yards rushing and a TD. I believe he has a receiving TD as well and over 30 yards.
He does. I mean, that's the beauty of Green Bay's running backs. You got Aaron Jones, who could be good on the run or the pass. And then after you're all done with that, you got a bulldozing back and A.J. Dillon. I mean, did you see the truck that he pulled against the Rams? Just ran over 24, fully head on, and just slammed him to the ground. And, you know, when you're in the fourth quarter in crunch time, you just throw in A.J. Dillon, and he's a tough guy to take down. I mean, we're talking he's close to 250. He's a big man to take down, and I'm pretty sure if you're a defender, you're run down in the fourth quarter, you do not want to tackle A.J. Dillon. Almost reminds me.
Wait, hold on. Did you see that Aaron Rodgers lookalike on TV?
I did. It's a damn good lookalike. I will say I'm impressed.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But yeah, go ahead.
A.J. Dillon in a way reminds you of Derrick Henry, just because of how hard he is to take down. You know what I mean? When you see Derrick Henry coming full speed at you, you got to brace for impact. That's the same thing with A.J. Dillon. You got to brace for impact when A.J. Dillon's coming right at you, because if you don't take him down, he's gonna put you down. You're not gonna take him down. He's gonna put you down.
Yeah, AJ's a big guy. You were mentioning the quads. I mean, there's only one guy that I've seen that has bigger quads and more strength with his legs than A.J. Dillon. Do you know who that is?
Don't tell me it's Saquon.
It's Saquon.
Saquon is bad with the Giants, though. Granted, he's got no O-line, and his QB is suspect.
I'm not talking about just with the Giants, though. I mean, just watching him throughout the years. One in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, just north of just near the Poconos, and then Penn State. I mean, his growth is just
His growth is phenomenal. But I do have a big announcement for the viewers out there. If you guys do not know, Ben Hoyt, he's from Delco. He had big news. This man right here is a future Penn State Nittany Lion, and I am proud of Ben Hoyt for that. I'll leave the floor to Ben. Ben, what is it like being accepted into Penn State?
So I hate to break the news. I'm not committed yet, but I finally down to my last two options.
Ooh, what are the last two?
So I would either be a High Point Panther out of North Carolina, Division I school out of the Big South, or a Penn State Nittany Lion.
I now you don't have to take your opinion from me, but I'd personally say I would love for you to go to Penn State.
Yeah. Well, I went there a few weeks back to see a football game, Penn State versus Michigan. And I love the atmosphere there. I love the campus. It's just big time college feels. It's great.
Yeah, the whiteout, of course.
But yeah, and the whiteout, of course. But to answer your question from a while back, yes, I'm a kid from Delco. But I think this kid from Delco is ready to make his mark on the world. And whether it's High Point or Penn State, I'm 100% ready to broadcast there. I'm 100% ready to be a student there. And I'm 100% ready to change the world.
There we go. Big energy from Ben right there. We got a 3rd and short play for the Packers down at the Chicago 23-yard line. We'll see what Rodgers has in store here. Play clock down to 3. Rodgers rolling to the right. Quick throw to none other than Davante Adams. Easy first down play. I mean, that's easy money. They go run that play in their sleep, whether it's on the right or the left. It's just when Rodgers and Adams get going, there's no stopping them. It's the best QB wide receiver duo in the league.
Yeah.
I don't care that there's Mahomes and Hill or Brady and Evans. The best receiver to QB duo is Rodgers to Adams, because when those two are clicking, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's even single coverage or double coverage. Rodgers is going to throw a dime, and it's going to be an easy catch.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers has just a way of having chemistry with his guys and marching his troops to the casa. It's unlike only a couple quarterbacks.
I love the words there. Marching it to the casa. Okay, Ben.
If you've seen that guy,
a little bit of Spanish lingo, I like that.
Wait, no. So, have you seen that guy on TikTok that plays Madden on his TikTok? Big dot to the casa. That's where I spun that off from. But yes, literally, Rodgers just throws big dots to the casa, and that's just a unique trait of his. I've only seen a few other quarterbacks in history, do it at will.
Doing it at will. We got the play clock down at 2. It's 2nd down at 1. Rodgers, play action, looking to throw, and it is caught by the big dog, Mercedes Lewis. And he's down at the 4-yard line. I love it when Mercedes Lewis catches some passes, just because if you guys do not know, in Green Bay, we call him the big dog. He's our main veteran guy. I might have even mentioned this early in the stream, but he's just a great veteran to have in our locker room. And whenever he makes big plays like those, you just love to see it, because a lot of people forget this guy's like year 16, year 17, and he's taking hits, making big plays like this. And you just love to see it. And once again, we got 1st and goal, play clock down to 5. We got about 4 minutes left in the game. And this is kind of for the Bears right here. You got to stop this, or else this game is pretty much over. You know what I mean? Like, if the Packers get the score, go up 17, maybe 18 points, and you got about 4.5 minutes left in this ball game, it's going to be a very hard hill to come back from.
If the Packers score a period, this game's over. I mean,
even if it's a field goal?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you look at, if they do score a field goal, you're only down 14. If you can move the ball quickly, somehow find a way to stop Rodgers, you got a chance.
No, because I don't see any sign of stopping, and I just don't see it.
Well, that's a fact. I'm just saying the other side of things.
No, I get the other side of things, but if you're up 14, 2 touchdowns, I mean, you have to score a touchdown and stop the Packers. Well, okay, let me backtrack because I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, you need to score a touchdown less than every 2 minutes. That's tough to do, especially if
You
you're
basically got to run a 2-minute offense.
Yeah, especially if you're starting on your own 20. And then, first of all, you can't not score a touchdown. That if you don't score a touchdown, it's over. And then in between your 2 touchdowns, you have to stop Aaron Rodgers from draining the clock out. That's pretty much impossible if the Packers score here.
Exactly, and especially when you got to worry about Quadzilla AJ Dillon running it down. It's going to be very hard to take him down.
Dude, you're just going to keep making the Quadzilla references like for the rest of the game.
Well, yeah, because it's Packers Bears. You got to. Now, I will also say Rodgers still owns Chicago. I mean, he's pretty much dominated this game, and I will say for the viewers out there, we are going to talk a little bit after the game. I do have some stuff that I would like to get into after the game. Some of the games that went down on Sunday, and even some of the devastating news that happened a couple of days ago, which I'll get into a little bit since we are on commercial. Well, we're not quite on commercial break, but when the game is over, for those of you guys who do know, Demaryius Thomas recently passed away unexpectedly. And what I'm going to do after the game is discuss on the Denver Broncos on how big of a win this meant for their franchise.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was heartbreaking when I saw the news. I thought it was fake. You know what I mean? I like when someone first threw it on the chat that he might pass on. I'm just like, there's no way. Like Demaryius Thomas, he just recently retired in like June or July. There's no way.
But I will say, happy news for you, Matt. Packers just sealed this game.
Yep, and none other than Rodgers to Adams.
And what type of route is that? Trivia question.
I believe it was a nice quick slant.
It was a quick slant route, like I said before.
That's right. We got Ben Stradamus here.
But no,
look at the footwork. He turned the corner and he was looking like this. He went like that. He went backwards. Just the best one-on-one receiver ever. You could guard him up against Ramsey, he's getting open. You could guard him up against J.C. Jackson, he's getting open. Any corner you match up one-on-one with Adams, he's getting open. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. It's very hard to lock him up. Although I will say that like Charles Woodson though, Darrelle Revis.
Well, okay, if we're going all time, then yeah, maybe Prime Woodson would lock him up a little bit. But I mean, yeah, I'm talking cornerbacks today, modern day. There's a select few that could contain Davante Adams.
Oh, no doubt. I don't think Slay could cover him. I believe he's one of the top cornerbacks still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely is. And I remember when we played against Darius Slay when he was on the Lions, he was always a guy to watch out for. He was the corner to where you expect Slay to guard our top guy, whether that was Jordy Nelson, whether that's Davante Adams, just any one of our top guys, Slay's going to be there to guard him. That's
why they call him Big Play Slay.
Yeah, hey, Big Play Slay made some big plays in Philly so far.
He did. He also just got owned by DK Metcalf like a little less than a year ago. But
hey, we don't got to talk about that. We could talk about the fumble, scoop, and score against Denver.
That we can talk about. By the way, funny enough, I went to the last Eagles-Denver game, and it was in Denver. No, it was in Philadelphia. Super Bowl game. And it was the debut of an Eagles running back who was a star, but burned out pretty soon.
Ooh, are we talking about Ajayi?
I'm talking about Ajayi.
Oh, dude, I love that guy.
Except after the Eagles, he played professional esports for the Philadelphia Union of the MLS. That now I don't know where he is. He got cut from that esports team as well. But interesting career, to say the least, after the NFL.
Definitely 100% interesting career. Green Bay Packers up 45-27. We're on commercial break here with about 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like you mentioned, Ben, that touchdown right there kind of looked like the dagger. Even though the Bears, yes, they have a full slate of 3 timeouts, but you got to try to score 3 times in 4.5 minutes. That is a tough task to do. And just like I mentioned earlier, Ben, that illegal formation on that punt really changed the game. Because, you look at that drive, we're talking it was almost 8 minutes and 40 seconds long. And they drive 71 yards down the field and just send the dagger of a touchdown. That's just – if you're the Bears, you can't let that happen, but you did. And 2, that's just coming back down 18 with 4.5 minutes left. Very few offenses can do that. Maybe Kansas City, maybe Tampa could come back, but the Bears with Matt Nagy, no chance.
Well, you got to be scoring in less than a minute now because now you have to stop the Packers from getting their drive going, and then you have to score 3 more times. No, that's not happening.
100%.
I just said that out loud, and I'm like, no.
And we got to go Packers in the chat, 100%. So far, looking good. And we saw Justin Fields run for the first down. And one thing I will say, I'm impressed with how Fields has played in this game so far. Besides the pick 6, he's had a pretty clean game, to say the least. You've seen him scramble, get some first down runs. You've seen him make some big throws. But with the rookie, there are some rookie mistakes, like that pick 6 to Rasul Douglas. Like you mentioned, Ben. You can't stare at your receiver and throw it to him. 9 times out of 10, the defender's going to read that and either swat it away or get an interception. And with time, Fields is going to learn. Fields will probably be in the film room. The quarterback's coach is going to be like, he's going to show that replay and just simply say, what did you do wrong? And Fields is going to say, I looked at the receiver too long. It won't happen again.
Yeah, that was a silly mistake there. But what's an even sillier mistake is that false start. Oh, another almost interception. Now you're going to 2nd and 15. Now you're in a really tough spot with 3:41 to go. You basically have 4 timeouts if you're the Bears.
Yeah, you got your 3, and then you got the 2-minute warning.
You got to score super quick, though.
You have to. Here's what has to happen, Ben. You have to score quick, and then you got to find your way as a defense to get a takeaway and score quick from there. That's how you make it a game.
Yeah, other than that, if the Packers get a few first downs, goodbye.
Most certainly, 100%. That's what would happen.
All right, you get back to the line of scrimmage there, and you get 3rd and 10. That's not a good situation because if you don't get on 4th down, Packers can probably drain the clock to the 2-minute warning.
Now, one thing I will say is, Ben, if the Bears do have a 4th down, you have to go for it. There's no other option. In the past, you could have punted it like they did earlier because you were only down 11 or down 8. But when you're down 18 in the 4th, you just got to say, F it, I'm going to go for it. Let's just see what happens.
That won't be necessary because Justin Fields just had the legs of God and just avoided 3 sacks at once and just scrambled for like almost 20 yards.
And that's the potential Fields has. That's the difference with Justin Fields compared to other Bears quarterbacks in the past. We haven't seen a Bears QB that could scramble like that. And if he's able to scramble well like that, and if he could get a good head coach that could use his talent, the Bears could have something.
Yeah, and they're marching the ball down here. You got to get a playoff, though, before the 2-minute warning.
You definitely do. And you look at Ben, like he always mentioned, he almost threw another one. You saw the defender jump up, and it looks like it just went through his hands.
Oh, that it literally went through his hands. He had it.
Yeah, that's why he's a linebacker and not a receiver.
All right. Officials are stopped for something on this play. 2:19 left to go. LaFleur isn't happy, so I think it's against the Packers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have to see what it is. I don't know why the clock is stopped.
Okay, now clock is running. You got to get that playoff. Well, the upside of having an income. Oh boy.
Ooh, that's means something good. Let's see what happens here. Fields going to pass, throw, and it's incomplete.
No, I was going to say Fields was a little shaken up on the play, but he seems to be just fine if you take a look.
Yeah, and he's doing 2-3 push-ups, but you're down 18. Hey, you know what? Took the hit like a champ, and that's your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I don't see who the penalty's on though. Are they going to
call it illegal shift?
Oh, and I see what the injury was. Justin Fields got a face full of booty.
Ooh, yikes!
So bent his neck back a little bit. So
yeah, wouldn't that be something? That had to hurt watching it. You're going full Steve, and then your head just goes. It's just a full-on wall right there.
I only saw it once, and it resulted in a fumble.
Yep, and it's a 1st and 15 for the Bears. They don't get out of bounds. It's the 2-minute warning. And we'll see what the Bears have in store. They are down 18. The Green Bay Packers lead 45-27, and they are 1:58 away from becoming 10-3. And one step closer to clinching the NFC North. But the next Sunday Night Football game is going to be good. We got the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 15 of Sunday Night Football will be the Saints and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, so we're going to work out some details on that broadcast. I know I'm coming back from Philadelphia that day, which is
I'll be ready.
You'll be ready. Good.
I'll be ready 100%.
So we'll have Matt there, and then of course I will be in Eagles Washington, so I will try to be there as soon as I can. I think I should be fine, but with Philly traffic, you never know.
Yeah, you never know, but we know we're going to be coming in hot. We won't be coming in hot in the second half. We'll actually be doing the full game.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you can tell, even with only just the second half, we deliver fire energy for you guys, for the people.
Absolutely. It's just
a bunch of and the Packers game, they are playing jump around. For those of you guys who do not know, in Wisconsin, for college football, every start of the fourth quarter, they play jump around and the crowd gets jumping. And right now, during the 2-minute warning, they are playing jump around, and all the fans of Lambeau Field are jumping around. Which
that's
I'm currently doing right now because we're up 18. We're 2 minutes away from becoming the 2 seed, possibly the 1 seed after Monday.
I'm going to tell you.
Life is good.
I'm going to tell you that was way less cool than what they did in Madison, Wisconsin, but that was still kind of unique. Oh,
well, because in Madison, Wisconsin is a tradition.
Right.
For Green Bay, it's just like every once in a while. We got cheeseheads.
True. We got
2nd and 11 for the Bears. And whoa, how did he get that out of there? Did you see that, Ben? He did like an underhand toss and somehow got it out.
That was a Patty Mahomes type play to get some yardage.
Yeah, I mean, you look at he's locked, he's held, and he just somehow goes, whoop, just has a flip, just like here, take it, and it's 3rd and 8 for Fields and the Bears. Throws it pumps fakes, then throws again, and it's just through the hands. It's incomplete. 4th and 8, and this is pretty much the game right here. If you don't convert it, the game's pretty much over.
It's over when the Green Bay Packers make a first down.
Yeah, 100%. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is actually the battle. This is actually the battle of the mats.
Whoa! Look at this.
Are they sending out the field goal unit?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're sending out the field goal unit to try to cut it to 15.
Okay, so now what I think they're going to do, if they're not completely brainless, is they're going to try to go for an onside kick.
The kick is away. The kick is good. So now they cut it to 15. And let's see if Ben Stradamus strikes with the onside kick.
Well, why would you kick a field goal if you're not going for an onside kick? You're just throwing away the game?
I don't know. Maybe you're trusting your defense to get something.
Why would you trust your defense against Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. I ask that same question every day to myself. Why would the Packers trust their defense against Brady in the NFC Championship game? I ask myself that question every day.
Yeah.
But you know what? We'll see what they do. As we look at, they show the NFC playoff picture. Currently, Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Dallas. In the hunt, you saw the EAGLES Eagles still in the hunt. And that's what we like to see because 7 weeks ago, you were dead in the water against the Raiders. And now here you are in the playoff hunt. Doesn't matter if you're 6-7.
Oh, my
You still
God.
got a chance.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, that was my microphone that fell.
No. Wait a second. Don't you dare pull that back.
What? This special teams is ass, bro. I swear. There's no way. Let's see what they call.
He may have stepped out.
Oh, he better. I swear, dude. I get flashbacks of 2014 when I see ourselves muff up the onside kick. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, hold on. So
they said the ball is dead at the spot of recovery. So the Bears did recover the onside kick, but it is dead on the spot.
Why?
So instead of it being a touchdown, let's see. Well, because it was slightly touched by the hands of Scantling.
Oh.
Because it was slightly touched by Scantling, the ball is dead on the spot. So he touched it. Now the Bears are set up down at the Packers' 46-yard line. And I swear, dude, this special teams coach needs the best stern talking to by Matt LaFleur because this special teams performance has been pathetic. I mean, we're talking. It almost cost us the game. That Amari Rodgers muff, if it weren't for the illegal formation, we're talking they're back in the game. And then this game right here. I mean, we're talking this is literally a tie game. That can't happen. You can't have special teams gas like this against Arizona. Well, maybe Arizona against Tampa. You can't play like this against Tampa.
Well, your defense just stepped up for you because that's a sack on Justin Fields. They have to burn a timeout.
Yep, you got to. And who none other than Preston Smith, who has stepped up so large this season here. Especially, I mean, you got to keep in mind, we haven't had Demaryius Smith since week 1. And he's just stepped up large here. And once again, Ben, this is the replacement for your man Jason Peters, who suffered an injury earlier in the season. I mean, Jenkins had no chance. He had no chance against Preston Smith.
If you're going to start Jason Peters, you better well have a good backup because you know he's going to get injured some point that year.
He did. He actually got injured during the game, and Jenkins, the rookie, had to be thrown in the fire.
Yeah, well,
Peters needs to retire. The future first ballot Hall of Famer O-lineman.
4 years ago.
He should have retired after you guys won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's like 4 years too late.
But he's almost 40. You know that?
I do.
I mean, I love the guy. I love what Jason Peters has done as a career. But I mean, there comes a time to where, look, man, you just got to retire. You're almost 40 years old being an O-lineman. Just retire. Just be a nice, maybe sports analyst with NFL Network. Be with Joe Thomas. And, maybe get your jersey. Would he get his jersey number retired in Philly?
Did we have his jersey retired?
No, but I'm just saying, would he?
Probably.
Because how long was he in Philly?
Long time. Probably over 10 years.
Yeah, he'll probably get his jersey number retired. Especially because he was a part of that Super Bowl team, which will probably be your one Super Bowl in a couple years. Maybe Nick Sirianni and crew.
I don't think he was playing that year, though. I thought he was injured.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Jason Peters.
True.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
that's just like saying, the Packers shouldn't have retired Charles Woodson number. because he only played for us for 6 years.
True.
But those 6 years, he helped us win a Super Bowl, and he won a Defensive Player of the Year award, and he was one of our best corners in Packers history.
Ooh. All right, now this is the game. 4th and 13. You only have one timeout left. Ooh, you got to chalk it here if you're Justin Fields.
Yeah, you definitely have to. In my honest opinion, just go for the long ball for the end zone, and if it doesn't work, then just that's that.
All right, because 53 seconds, no matter what, they can just run out the clock on second or third down.
And I will say, what impressive coverage by Eric Stokes. I mean, the rookie out of Georgia. He's been a fantastic draft pick this year. I mean, he's pretty much locked down Allen Robinson all game.
Oh, that is it. That is a Packers interception right there, and that ends the game.
Yep, it sure does. And once again, Fields gets pressured, and who catches the INT? None other. Let's see. Is it? Oh, it's Terrence Sullivan. Sweet. I thought it was gonna be Adrian Amos. I'm just like, how about that, Adrian Amos, the former Bear? But I will say, it seems like ever since that Week 8 Cardinals game, this Packers defense has just been playing lights out. And I will say, I was very skeptical of Joe Barry, especially his bad performance against the Saints, the somewhat struggling fest against the Lions. But really, ever since that game, he's gone better and better and better. And, I will say, this Packers team just feels different. In the past, we lose some of these close games. In the past, we would lose in overtime to the Bengals. In the past, we would lose to the 49ers when they scored that go-ahead touchdown. But this year, man, even with all of our injuries, we've just found different ways to win. We found a different way to win in Arizona.
Yeah.
We didn't have our top receivers. We didn't have our key members on defense. And we found a way to win with practice guys like Rasul Douglas. And even against the Rams. Like, we found a way without our top linemen and even our top defenders to find a way to win. And, even this game, as the final sound, as this final horn sounds, the final score is the Green Bay Packers 45, Bears 30. Packers advance to 10-3. The Bears fall 2-4-9. And even falling on, like I've been saying earlier, there are just some games where I just look at the Packers. I'm just like, hey, you know what? In the past, we probably would have lost. In the past, we would have lost the game, but we just found different ways to win. We're 10-3. We're the 2 seed. We're set up well to win the 1 seed. Like I mentioned earlier, if the Rams beat the Cardinals on Monday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers would be the 1 seed. And I'm telling you right now, if the Packers want to go far this year, they have to get this number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Because they're right now at the 2 seed. And granted, you already played Washington earlier in the season, so you have a good chance. But if you got to match up with the 49ers in the wild card matchup, that's not an easy matchup. Look at how well San Francisco played us Week 3. I mean, that game was back and forth, and the Niners came back for the win. And if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers pulling Houdini magic out of his ass and Crosby, kicking a 51-yard game winner, we could have easily lost that game.
Yeah.
But we got it done. Let's see what the Green Bay Packers can do the rest of the season. Now, these next couple games will be make or break for the Packers for the 1 seed, because Week 15, you got to go up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the status of Lamar Jackson, we don't know. He's getting MRI scans. You don't have Marlon Humphreys. It looks like a good win for the Packers, but it's on the road in Baltimore. The Ravens are playing tough because that AFC North is wide open still. I mean, the Ravens are barely hanging on at first by a thread. The Bengals still have an opportunity to get there. Even look at the Browns and the Steelers. That AFC North is wide open, so the Ravens are going to play tough.
Yeah.
Same situation with the Browns. You got the Browns on Christmas Day at home against Lambeau. You can't afford to lose that game because of how close the 1 seed in the NFC is, and even the AFC North. And then even your last 2 games, Week 17 against the Vikings, we never forget what the Vikings did to us Week 11. We dropped 31 points, and it wasn't enough. And then Week 18 against the Detroit Lions, it's a divisional rival. I don't care that they're 1-10-1. You best believe we're playing that game with all of our starters because the 1 seed is on the line. So it's going to be make or break for the Packers. Their final stretch of 4 games are going to be a tough 4 games. You got 2 teams that are competing for a playoff spot, and then you got 2 division rival games. It's going to be a tough way to finish it out. We'll see what they can do there. And, we'll see what happens here. And I know the game is over. The game is finished. But Ben and I would kind of like to touch on a few things a little bit before we head out on stream. I am going to go on the Packers looking a little bit. Obviously, as you guys saw, the Packers get the big win, 45-30. And I kind of even went in depth already a little bit. This is a great win for Green Bay. Set them up, got the 2 seed, got a chance for the 1 seed. Hopefully we get to keep this up and keep on going from there. And Ben, I lost you on a Colorcast. Do you want me to reset?
Yes, a certain Bears fan. Well, you don't have to have me back to Colorcast. A certain Bears fan gave me a phone call.
Oh, here, let's hear it.
No, I denied the phone. I was on stream, but we'll get his thoughts in a little bit, and of course that'll be going into the Unwrapped chat. But it was a good game for the Packers. Good game for Justin Fields as well. And by the way, as much as the other games mattered in the NFL today, we could talk about playoff pictures and stuff like that. I think it's been just such a heartbreaking week for the NFL that I don't even want to do it. Like, I just want to end this stream off. I want to talk about the Broncos, and I want to talk about the legacy of a certain Demaryius Thomas. Because as much as NFL matters, a human life is more than a game. Just plain and simple. And
definitely 100%. Would you be okay if we did overreactions for a little bit, or do you just want to go straight to
I don't even want to do it this week. Because we can do that any other week. But this is a win for Demaryius Thomas. We're celebrating the life of Demaryius Thomas. A legend in our game, in my humble opinion. If you want an overreaction, Jared Goff will lose a starting job by this year. There you go. You can do yours, and then we got to get straight into it because
I'll even throw out the banner of DT. I'll throw in an overreaction for Week 14. Give me the Eagles in the playoffs. I want to see Philly in the playoffs. First year with Nick Sirianni through all the dumpster fire. I just want to see Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles make the playoffs. I don't care if it's a 7 seed. I don't care if it's a 6 seed. I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles be in the playoffs. And if Green Bay's a 2 seed, I would love to see a Packers-Eagles playoff matchup. That will be my dream.
But let's get
to Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising passing. I would have never seen that happen. And he was such a great individual. Through all the things that we've seen posted, we've seen Brady post about him, we've seen Peyton Manning, and it seems like everybody had all great things to say. He was great. He was great with the kids. He was great with the charity foundations and everything that he did. And I just feel like, and especially with how he passed away, I heard he passed away from, I believe it was a seizure. And what's tough about Demaryius Thomas is we didn't expect this to happen. So sometimes when someone does pass away, sometimes they have a lingering issue, sometimes of old age, what happens. But with Demaryius Thomas, it's just something that we've never seen. And he just recently retired in June or July. And he seemed to be enjoying his life. And just to have that happen to him so sudden, it's heartbreaking. And then you look at even throughout his NFL career, if you look at all the franchise receiving records in Denver history, he's right up there in the top 3. Yeah. Besides Rod Smith, who's one of the greatest undrafted players of all time, and the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, Demaryius Thomas is right there in the top 3. And you look at, he has had some fantastic moments. He was the highlight of Tim Tebow's career. You want to know who Tebow threw that first pass to against the Steelers in the playoff game? It was to Demaryius Thomas. Every single playoff highlight you see in playoff history, you name Tebow to Thomas. And then you also look at, he helped resurrect Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning even stated himself that Demaryius Thomas was the reason why he went to Denver. And for him to get a ring, to help Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, get a ring in his final season after 18 years. I mean, it's special. And through all the stats that he did, keep in mind, he was only with the Broncos for 9 years, and he put up astronomical numbers. We're talking franchise all-time numbers. He's in the top 3. I mean, it's unbelievable the impact that Demaryius Thomas had, and just overall as a whole, the impact he had, mainly with Denver. You know, with the Denver community, with the Broncos as a whole, you can't really name Broncos franchise history without uttering the words Demaryius Thomas. And very, very few players you could say had a great impact on a franchise like Demaryius Thomas. When you look at the Broncos, you think of a couple players. You think of John Elway, you think of Terrell Davis, you think of Shannon Sharp, but then you think of Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas. He has to be up there. If there's a Mount Rushmore of 5 people for the Broncos, it's those 5 names that I just mentioned. And granted, it could be more. But just from up there in the ranks, Demaryius Thomas is up there. And just to have him gone so soon, it's just heartbreaking, because you look at, he could have very well been a Hall of Famer. And you look at, he's going to get his number retired in Denver. It's not a matter of if, it's going to be when. Because whenever he gets his jersey number retired in Denver, it's going to be a great moment to see.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, he was a idol wide receiver for me. I mean, he was Mr. Fantasy before, for me, fantasy got big. Like when I started with the fantasy team, you know, I would always select Demaryius Thomas. Why not? Because he gets touchdowns every week. But on a more somber side of things, this man was 33 years old when he died. Only 33. And in my humble opinion, no person on this earth should have their life taken at 33. It's just too damn young. It's just too damn young. It's too damn heartbreaking. I wish he, you know, had the chance to live out the rest of his days, you know, grow old, but unfortunately, life just isn't fair. You know, it's just not fair, and it wasn't in the cards, and that's completely heartbreaking for me. A quote that I saw from Demaryius Thomas, and I forgot most of the quote. It's a huge quote, but there's a portion of it, you know, it was basically, no matter where you come from, if you are loved, you will make it. And I just want to say that again. If you are loved, you will make it. And that's just so true. I mean, just getting on the, you know, English side, the symbolism side of things. I mean, if you are a nice person, you treat everyone with respect, you know, you work hard, and people care for you, if you are loved, you will make it in life. And by the way, this goes to all, you know, the dreamers, all the people in our Unwrapped fam. If you are loved, you treat people with respect, you will make it big one day. And I think that's a lesson that Demaryius Thomas taught us, you know, through this really sad time in football. I think that was a lesson that he taught us through that quote. And I think that's a good thing to end on tonight.
I definitely do think it's a good thing to end on. This is Matt Skura. I got my great co-host to my right, Ben Hoyt. Primetime with Hoyt and Wise Cheese. Tune in to Week 15 when we will broadcast the New Orleans Saints playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Week 15 Sunday Night Football. We will end this broadcast here with a moment of silence for Demaryius Thomas and for all of his loved ones.